that time of year, it also creates stress. You know, there's a lot of obligations that we got to do, gatherings, events, holiday parties, of course, like the wonderful one today with Overcome. But also, you know, are some stressors that can be involved in, you know, planning those things and organizing them, whether that's making food or it's, you know, decorating or getting things organized. So there is a new statistic that is up to 88% of the average American feels stressed out about the holiday season. And I believe it, right? However, when you also throw cancer into the mix, it then becomes a whole level of anxiety. It's a different ballgame at that point, right? So we do know that that creates added stress on the patient and the family and caregiver during the holiday season. So I really wanted to speak to you all about that today, and then kind of have you all share your thoughts and feelings about that time period, whether you're a current patient undergoing active treatment or if you are in the survivorship phase of ovarian cancer. So we want to look at that today. So I have the handout. Let me know if you didn't get one. And these are also going to be available online, is my understanding as well. Renzi, the handout, okay. So just talking about different tips and tricks to do the holiday season. If you have cancer, or even if you're a survivor or family or loved one of that person. So tip number one for coping as a patient is to prepare ahead of time emotionally, okay? So what that can do for you is, if you know that you're going to be having a family gathering, or if it's an office holiday party, or any type of event like that that you know may kind of bring some stress, or you know that you're going to be seeing people that you maybe haven't saw in a long time, and if you have cancer or if you've dealt with cancer, maybe things are a little different for you now, and emotionally maybe things have shifted a little bit for you, and maybe you're in a different place altogether mentally. So it helps patients and families to often kind of prepare themselves emotionally before going into those gatherings, to just, you know, anticipate some differences that maybe weren't there previously before cancer. So, you know, maybe you are going into this gathering and you've lost your hair due to chemo, and you're looking a little differently these days. Maybe your appearance has shifted. Maybe you've lost weight because of cancer treatment, or maybe you've gained weight because of cancer treatment. All of these things are different for cancer patients and their loved ones to consider during the holidays. So kind of like mentally walking yourself through the gathering and the event, and maybe kind of, you know, emotionally preparing for that beforehand can really actually help decrease your stress before you get to that event or gathering. Simplify is our next tip, and this is a huge one, y'all. Simplify, simplify, simplify. If you are the person who is used to cooking all of the huge family feasts, you know, for the holidays, or if you are the one who decorates and goes all out for, you know, Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever it is that you celebrate, and, you know, now all of a sudden cancer is on board, right? And you've got treatment appointments, you've got chemotherapy or surgery or radiation, or maybe, you know, there's different things going on in your life as a survivor because of cancer, and maybe you just don't want to do all that stuff this year, and that's okay. That's perfectly okay. You have a pass now. You've had cancer, right? Right. That you've got a pass. That is a rite of passage that you have went through, and you have every right to say no to things, right? Or to just simplify them and scale back a little bit to kind of preserve your own mental health, okay? And that's okay to do. And I always counsel patients on, you know, if you're the person that always says yes, hey, what better time to say no than after your difficult experience that you've been through? And people do understand. Family members do understand. Coworkers, friends and family, community members, they understand. You know, you've been through a lot, or you're going through a lot. Things are different now for you and your family. So, you know, doing the shopping, the decorating, and the cooking, you know, if you can actually just scale it down, like, hey, maybe you won't do the whole spread, the whole holiday feast this year, but I'm going to make that one signature dish that I know y'all like, you know, and that's going to be my contribution this year. Then that is perfectly fine and okay to do. long as you let your family members know, hey, you know, Aunt Sally, can you help out with some other stuff this year that I normally would have done? You know, or hey, Cousin Joe, can y'all, you know, do X, Y, and Z? Those things are perfectly fine going into the holiday season. Finding different ways to shop. So if you know, cancer treatment is expensive. That's a little known fact that people don't talk about a lot, right? You know, sometimes y'all have high copays for treatment and for chemotherapy that maybe you weren't anticipating this year, you know. Even if you have the best insurance plan ever, sometimes those treatments and those PET scans and those MRIs, they can get costly. So, you know, I definitely recommend to patients, if you are going through active treatment or having been through it and now you owe a lot of, you know, medical debt or some payments, then it's perfectly fine to also scale back, and, you know, during the holiday season, and to maybe prepare, you know, friends or family members that you've possibly used to do bigger gifts or, you know, more gifts, and say, you know, hey, this year we're gonna kind of scale it down, you know, and just keep a budget and stick to it. You know, if that's $20, $25 per person, whereas like you used to go bigger, you know, that's perfectly fine. And a lot of people do understand. You know, your situation is different now and things have shifted around. So online shopping is a favorite. Gift certificates and gift cards are also a favorite. You know, if you feel like, hey, I don't have as much energy as I did last year, I can get you a gift card. Where's your favorite place? You know, if that's Starbucks or if it's Amazon, a lot of those things are very helpful to you all, not only as, you know, patients or survivors, to not have to feel like you gotta go and do everything for everybody, right? Knowing your limits. This is an important one. I cannot stress this one enough. So we know that chemotherapy creates fatigue. We know that, you know, radiation and surgery, it will drain your energy. So if you are the person who's went to like 5 events, you know, normally in December or in January and that kind of thing, and you want to just save up your energy and go to maybe 2 events or just one that really means a lot to you, then that's okay. Again, you've earned your pass to say no. So you can definitely exercise that right and pass. So you can decline some invitations to save up your energy for the activities that you really feel strongly that you want to do. Another tip, let others help you. So that's also another one for us as women to really do, right? Because we're the caretakers, we're the folks who do everything, who organize everything for our families. It's really hard for us to say no and to delegate and to get help from other family members or friends. But this is no better time than to ask for that as well. So if you feel like, hey, I'm hitting my limit with this, I do need some help from friends or family members, definitely ask. And you know, say, hey, can you help me out with this or that this year? Anticipating reactions. So that goes along with prepare emotionally ahead of time. You may look different this time around, this Christmas or this holiday. You may feel different. You may not have as much energy as before. Or you may just have a different mental perspective, you know. You've been through this traumatic event of cancer, right? Mm-hmm. And it may have changed things about you. It may have completely changed who you are and what really matters to you now, you know, and you may be prioritizing things differently this year. And that is completely okay, and it is normal. Survivors do go through some stages, you know, of their survivorship. It's early survivorship, you know, and if you become to get months and years out, it's later survivorship. And, you know, it still leaves a mark on who you are mentally. It leaves a mark on your soul. It definitely takes a toll. It does not have to define you. You know, cancer does not have to define who you are and how you live. And you can rise above and show that you have fought it and you have beat it and you are here, and you can celebrate that you are still here, and it still is a joyous time, the holidays. And it lets you know, hey, here's another year that I've made it, right? Mm-hmm. So it is a time where you can, you know, celebrate and bring those aspects into your holiday season. And letting your friends and family members know ahead of time as well that, you may look different or feel different this year helps them to also cope with your difference in appearance or difference in, you know, how you do things now. I think that friends and family do actually appreciate when you do acknowledge, hey, you know, I don't have all the hair that I used to this year, you know, from last year. I look a little different, or I may eat a little differently now, or I'm doing things a little differently, and it's okay, you know? So, oh, is that something like, I'm getting a little feedback. Okay. So yeah, just letting your friends and family members know that, you know, there may be some changes coming this holiday season, but that it's all okay. And that, you know, we'll all still be able to celebrate together. It just may be a little bit, you know, shifted from where it was before. Discovering your new normal, and that's another part of cancer survivorship, right? Discovering that new normal thing. And also sharing your feelings. I think, like I said, communication is really important. If you want your friends and family and community members, church members, if you want folks to know, you know, what is maybe different about you or how they can maybe help you, it's very, very important that you communicate that to them. Because a lot of times friends and family are kind of like lost, you know, they don't really know, you know, what do you need, what do you not need. They may say things that are off the wall and, you know, that are meant to be comforting to you as a patient, but don't really meet that mark, you know. That really friends and family kind of say the darndest things sometimes to cancer patients. And really it's just their way of trying to help, but they really don't know how to, right? So it's also perfectly fine to communicate that to them, you know, here's how you can help me and here's how you can not help me. You know, sometimes people say odd things about, you know, cancer patients' appearance and they're meaning to be helpful, but it's not super helpful. I had a lady that came in and her aunt actually told her, well, at least this helped you lose some weight, you know. Yeah, you know, like as if cancer treatment was awesome at doing that, you know, and it's like, no thanks, that's not helpful to say to me. You know, and it's just one of those things, right, where family, friends, they kind of don't know, they haven't been a patient, right? And it's also their little way of coping is trying to help you and trying to say things. And often it comes from a good place in their heart and they want to be helpful and it's a good intention, but sometimes it's just weird. So I'm sure that you all, you know, as patients or as family and caregivers, y'all have heard some wacky things that people have probably said to you or conveyed to you that were like, okay, not really helpful, thanks, but no thanks. But, so yeah, you know, there's that communication piece of it. So as a patient, you are in a perfect spot to be able to educate that family member or that community member or church member. You know, if they say something, you know, funny or weird, you know, it's often, you know, you can kind of turn it into a positive. You can say, well, thank you, I appreciate you sharing, you know, but really it's not that, it's, you know, it's not helpful, you know, to kind of be, you know, saying those things, although I do appreciate your sentiment, you know, and I do appreciate that you're trying to help, you know, but it's okay to kind of gently remind them, not super helpful, but thank you for sharing, and I really appreciate you, you know, sharing your sentiment with me. So, yeah, so it's okay to kind of communicate little things to them and show them in ways that they can be helpful. And if that's bringing you meals, then let them bring you meals and let them know that they can, you know, and or if that's picking up, you know, your kids or your dogs from daycare or something, and or if it's, you know, taking out the trash every now and then, just let people know exactly how they may be able to help you as a patient, and that goes a long, long way. Because, you know, if somebody says to you, oh, I'm here if you need me, that's a common one, right? Like, I'm here if you need anything. But you're like, well, what do I need? Or how can I say that to them? You know, it's like the communication, right? So as patients, as caregivers, y'all are in a great spot to educate people and to say, hey, you know, this is actually how you can help me, you know, instead of kind of leaving it like a vague, every now and then, oh, if you need me, kind of on the fringes thing, but yeah, so communication is important, right? For sure. And we want to be positive and helpful, and give people time as well. And if y'all need your space, let people know that. You know, if you feel like I've got plenty of help, I've got what I need, but give me my space, it's okay to communicate that as well. You know, if you just need time to rest, that's okay. Listen to your body. You know, if your body is telling you, man, I'm tired, you know, I really don't feel like going to this today, that's okay to do, you know, and be honest, right? You know, just let them know, hey, I'm really, the energy level just isn't there today, and I love your holiday party every year, but this year, I just can't make it. And I hope that you'll understand, and, you know, hopefully I'll be able to enjoy it next year with you. You know, saying those things are okay, and a lot of people are very understanding to that. So just kind of letting folks know ahead of time is good. So with that, that's my whole spiel, my educational piece, and I want to